Hello and welcome to Potpourri. My name is Shatondra Caldwell and we're here with Dr. Sherry Turner. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Great, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's talk about the AUC Communiversity.
Okay. If I may, I'd like to begin by talking a little bit about the Atlanta University Center Consortium before we even get to Communiversity. The AUC Consortium is a collaboration among four very outstanding institutions: Clark Atlanta University, Morehouse College, Morehouse School of Medicine, and Spelman College. Communiversity is our effort to reach out to the community and to connect the community or the neighborhood surrounding our schools with the faculty, staff, students, and administrators who work at the schools.
Okay, so let's go ahead and you want to talk about the Atlanta Communiversity now?
Okay, sure. Communiversity is a newly emerging initiative that we're so excited about. The idea is that we have faculty, staff, students, and administrators from each of the campuses devoting time in service to really make a difference to the community. What we strive to do is to invite people to use their skills, their talents, their time to benefit the community. So for instance, if you would imagine if we were to take all of the intellectual scholarship of our faculty, our passion of our students, the expertise of our administrators, and use it for the benefit of the community surrounding our gates, imagine what an impact that would be. And so what we have done is to create a Center for Lifelong Education right here within the AUC Consortium. And we will be providing a number of workshops, courses, and other activities to benefit the community.
Okay, and what kind of workshops will there be for the community?
We have a number of different types of workshops. We have courses on financial literacy and home ownership education. We will have courses on leadership. Often we have a very rich community with individuals who strive to make a difference in their impact, but may not have the leadership skills or may not be confident in their leadership. And so we provide a 6 weeks very intensive set of courses for those who want to develop further as leaders. We also will have courses that focus on nonprofit development and also business development as well.
Okay, well let's go back a little bit to the Atlanta University Consortium. Let's talk about the history and how did it start?
Okay, well the Atlanta University Center Consortium has a very rich history that starts back in the early 1900s. We were actually officially affiliated as an organization in 1929, but before that time there were a number of faculty and administrators across the various campuses that really felt that we could accomplish far much more if we decided to work together. But in 1929, the presidents of our various universities came together and they agreed to sign an affiliation agreement that would bind the communities together. One of the stories that I find most compelling about the history of the AUC Consortium actually took place during the time that W.E.B. Du Bois was a faculty member at Atlanta University. During the summers, he would host a series of workshops where faculty and students would come and present their research. But the beautiful thing about it and the compelling thing about it was that it was research not just for the sake of doing research or for the sake of studying, but the idea was that we take our research and we use it to make a difference in the world and apply the scholarship and our studies and our teaching to better the condition of the Negro of the time, or to better the condition for humanity. They did that for a number of years, and that goal of applying the research and the scholarship that exists within this community to make a positive difference in the world is really something that has been very consistent in the history of the AUC Consortium, but it's also a very important part of the mission tradition of each of the campuses that are affiliated with the AUC Consortium.
Now, with that goal, do you feel like the AUC has continued to reach higher and go further with that goal that W.E. Du Bois has set?
I believe we have, certainly. If you look at the alumni or the alumni of each of the campuses, you will find men and women who have made great strides in making a positive difference in the world, men and women who have taken the education that they've received at our schools and have used it really to become leaders in various areas. And so certainly we are following in those footsteps, and we're continuing that tradition.
Definitely, and especially with this event that's coming up this weekend on the 7th. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. We're very pleased that our kickoff event for Communiversity this year will be a series on legal rights. It's called Know Your Rights, Free Legal Information Forum, and we will have 15 attorneys who will come and spend time here with members of the community, helping them to understand what they need to know about 6 key areas of law. They include unemployment, wills, how do you get your criminal record expunged, how do you manage issues with landlords or housing issues, and a number of other topics that we think will really benefit members of the community. That event will take place from 10 o'clock until noon on Saturday, and it's going to be wonderful because members of the community will actually have an opportunity not just to learn or to hear about those areas of law, but to ask questions and get answers for those issues that are of concern to them.
And what do you think is one of the main questions that would be asked, especially about, I know you were saying people who had felonies and stuff like that, and they were trying to get jobs. What do you think is going to be one of the main questions?
I think one of the main questions will be if I have in my background, if I've done some things that I'm not proud of, or if I have things in my history that might prevent me from getting a job, how can I go about the process of getting my criminal records expunged so that it no longer stands in the way of employment or other opportunities that might be available? We suspect that that will be a very big issue that emerges on that day. We also believe that there will be a number of individuals who will be concerned about unemployment benefits. How do I make sure that I'm eligible for unemployment benefits? Others will be how do I deal with creditors or debt collectors who might be pushy, and how do I sort of rebound from financial situations that may have been a challenge and again might prevent me from moving forward in the future.
And who are some of the special guests that are going to be there?
Some of the special guests will be President Carlton Brown, President of Clark Atlanta University. Dr. Beverly Tatum has agreed to be here. She is, of course, the president of Spelman College. And then the guests will include 15 attorneys, many of whom are actually graduates of Clark Atlanta University, Morehouse, and Spelman College. And so they will be our featured guests.
And students are encouraged to come.
Students are encouraged to come because we understand that students have legal issues and other issues as well, questions as well. And so we certainly encourage students. We encourage our neighbors who live right in the vicinity of the Atlanta University Center also. And then we also will welcome anyone from the city of Atlanta who might have a need to learn about legal issues that affect their lives.
So do you have any lasting words about the consortium or the event or Atlanta University Center?
Just that the campuses, again, are situated in this community. Collectively, our campuses have been in this community for over 130 years. The campuses are anchored here. We're committed to making a difference for the community. And we know that our strength and our future is very much tied to the strength and future of the neighborhood surrounding us. And so we consider ourselves to be a neighbor and a partner with our community in bringing about change.
Do you have a website or a place where people can go and find more information at?
Absolutely. To learn more, please visit our website at www.aucenter.edu.
And one more time, let's talk about the event and where it's going to be and what time.
Yes, the event will be Saturday, December 7th at 10 o'clock a.m. at Clark Atlanta University in the Bishop Cornelius P. Henderson Student Center. The event will be located in the multipurpose room.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Cherie Turner.
Thank you so much
for coming in and letting people know about this event. I'm sure many people want to come and learn more information.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. And when we return, we'll have more with CART Atlanta.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
Of course it's not happening. Armored car. Listen, having money isn't about luck. Make your own coffee, save $1,000 a year. Feed me. Feed the pig.
The City of Atlanta wants to make sure every single-family household is participating in its recycling program, CARTlanta. It's innovative, eco-friendly, and a great source of revenue for the city we love. However, in order for it to be successful, we have to do it right. The City of Atlanta's Department of Public Works would like to remind you of a few important do's and don'ts when it comes to recycling.
Mommy, what are you doing? You're contaminating the recycling.
Oh, I forgot. We're not supposed to put food in there.
No, you have to put them in the trash.
Oh, okay.
Food is a big don't in the world of recycling. Other items on the don't list that contaminate recycling are plastic bags, like the ones from the grocery store, wire hangers, even those raked up yard leaves and trimmings. Also, on the don't list, styrofoam and clothes and shoes. While tossing these items in your blue cart may seem harmless, they contaminate the process and cost the city money. The good news? There's a wide variety of items we can recycle, and setting up smaller receptacles around the house is a perfect way to start. Let's take a look at the do list of items we can recycle. Paper, cardboard, plastic containers and bottles, glass containers and bottles, and aluminum cans. Make sure to rinse out all food remnants. Remember, recycling is an integral part of the City of Atlanta's effort to become a greener place to live, work, and play, and we cannot do it without you.
Recycling, get into it.
For more information on the city's recycling program, go to www.cartlanta.org or call 404-330-6333.
I'm your host, Shatondra Caldwell, and today with us we have Dexter C. White, the Deputy Commissioner Public Works in the City of Atlanta. How are you today?
Great, thanks for having me.
So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Cartlanta and the background initiatives in, here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, Cartlanta was started back in October 2012. It was the vision of the city to expand our recycling program. The city's been recycling since 1989. Initially we started with 18-gallon bins, which tend to fill up a lot quicker than the ones that we delivered back in October. We have 96,000 households that we service. We had started delivering 96-gallon bins, which is a part of the Cartlanta program, to 30,000 citizens, and the administration decided that everyone should have one. So we delivered the balance of 65,000 recycling bins to all our customers that we service in terms of picking up solid waste. What that does is gives us the potential to have more volume available so that we can increase the amount of recycling that we're taking to our vendor for reuse. It gives the citizen the opportunity to throw away less. Typically when the 18-gallon bin filled up, you know, the rest of it seemed to end up in the garbage can. So we're giving them the capacity now to recycle more, which would lead to us throwing away less garbage at our landfill. A good fact is that we pay $29 a ton to dispose of waste in landfills, but our vendors pay $30 a ton for our recyclables. So it just makes all the financial sense to recycle more than you throwing away at the landfill facilities.
Right. So what is accepted in the recycle bins?
So what's accepted? Plastics, 1, 2, 3. Not number 4. Those are your grocery bags. Take them back to your grocery store that you shop at. 5 and 7. 6 is styrofoam. The Keep Atlanta Beautiful has a mobile recycling center that they have, and you can take it there on the weekends. The way that you determine what type of recycling it is, if you turn the bottle upside down, or the plastic bottle upside down, it has a recycling symbol in it, and it has the number of what that recycling plastic is. So if it has a number 3 in there, you can put it in your recycling container.
And I didn't know that they were numbered.
Yes,
like the plastics were numbered.
So we also take paper, all your junk mail that comes to you, magazines, all the glossies in the newspaper. We take glass, glass containers, not mirrors, not window panes, but glass containers that you use every day, such as soda bottles, jars that food come in. All we ask is that you clean out the residual food and then place it into your recycling bin. We also accept aluminum and steel cans, the steel cans being the ones that your food come in, and again, we ask that you clean those out as well. But all of the stuff that you use every day, about 80 to 90% of it is recyclable.
Okay. So what are some benefits of recycling?
So one of the benefits from recycling is, one, it saves the environment. Instead of using raw material to create these products, you're using the same plastic and glass to recreate plastic and glass products. What's even more important, that it creates jobs. In the Public Works Department alone, it created 18 additional jobs. The 10,000 tons equates to 10,000 tons of recycling equates to 1 job in the United States.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So that recycling
is not only you're being green, but you're being financially sustainable as well.
So let's talk a little bit about the contamination.
One of the issues that come with recycling is making sure that you are putting the right material into the recycling container. If we don't put the right stuff in, the right material into the container, then it's considered as being contaminated. And once it's considered being contaminated, our vendor won't accept it, and he would treat it just like regular household garbage. And remember, I told you that we pay $29 a ton to dispose of it at the landfill. We'll be spending $60 a ton because he's got to haul it, he's got to load it, and he's got to pay the tipping fee for us. So it's very important that we don't contaminate. And some of the things that usually end up in the container is yard trimmings, clothes, food, sometimes dirty baby diapers, and that shouldn't go in there. It contaminates the load, and we can't benefit from it. We had a potential to reduce our tipping fees by over $600,000 and increase our recycling revenue by $670,000. And we would hope that we could pass some of those savings on to our citizens, those individuals that pay that yearly solid waste fee. So if we could realize the potential of those 9 million gallons of capacity that we have now versus the 4 million that we had before we instituted this program, it will make it much more easier for us to pass these savings on to our citizens.
So when you say contamination, like the number 4s and the number 6, the styrofoams, and that's contamination also?
That's considered contamination as well. One product I failed to mention is cardboard. We do accept cardboard.
Okay.
But the kicker to that is we don't accept the pizza boxes because it has the grease in the middle of the box, which surrounds the box. So it makes it, you can't recycle that. So it ends up in your regular household waste.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. I'm sure I put the pizza box in recycling box.
But any other cardboard,
right,
we welcome.
Right. Oh, so there's a Mayor's Volunteer Recycling Assembly. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So we got a Bloomberg grant from Mayor Bloomberg in New York, and the purpose of that grant was to recruit individuals to become volunteer for the recycling program, ambassadors for certain areas. One of the things that we've got going on now is that we're identifying individuals that are contaminating the recycling, and these individuals go out, educate, help people determine what needs to go into the recycling container and what doesn't go into the recycling container. We've also commandeered the police recruits to help us. We do community sweeps where we go door to door, knocking on people's doors and making them aware of our recycling program. Right now we've recruited 150. We need about 150 more volunteers. For more information on that, you can call 404-330-6340. We're always open to training and looking for volunteers to help us get the word out about contamination.
And can it be any age, or is there?
Any age.
Any age.
Any age.
And they just, like you said, go around. Oh, when you said they were educating and policing, what if someone doesn't know about the recycling things, but they continue to put like the pizza boxes into the recycling boxes? Are they going to get in trouble? Is there a...
That's a very good question. So as a part of our organization, we have individuals that are called SWEET team members, solid waste education, which is the first thing that we want to do is educate them, and enforcement team. So if we can't get you to cooperate and putting the right stuff in, there's a possibility that you might get a citation or a warning, courtesy ticket, and this stuff is punishable in court.
Wow. You can go to court.
You can go to court. These individuals are in court in terms of illegal dumping, stuff that shouldn't be in the right of way that people dump. If you don't have proper permits to operate, if your garbage can or your commercial can is noticeable, you will receive a citation. They should be containerized. You could receive a citation from one of these individuals.
So when you place the recycling bins out, you place them outside right beside the dumpsters to be picked up?
So the good thing about our program is that we pick up all our core services in one day. We pick up yard trimmings, we pick up your regular household garbage, and we pick up your recycling on the same day. If you live in Northeast, your garbage your services will come on Monday. If you live in the Southeast, on Tuesday, Southwest on Wednesday, and Northwest on Thursday. So we pick up those three items once a week on a particular day designated for one of the quadrants.
Okay.
So you can roll your cans to the curb, and we promise to put them back at the curb.
Right.
If you're on backyard service, where we go to the back of your home and collect, that's on a Thursday. So they get 1 day to have their product serviced.
Okay. So what are the next steps?
So we are in the process of buying compressed natural gas trucks that have a RFID system on it. That's a radio frequency identification device. Each one of the recycling containers has a little black reader on it. So we'll have all the addresses loaded into this software, and we'll know if you're recycling or not, because we have a RFID reader on the garbage can, which we call a tag, and then we have the reader that's on the truck that identifies that tag and that address. So if you didn't recycle for a long period of time, someone's going to be knocking on your door because it's not registered in our software.
Wow.
So that's one of the big ones. We're also getting ready to provide an incentivized program. That means if you put your recycling out on a regular basis and the individuals in your neighborhood are doing the same, then you're able for some coupons or some discounts from restaurants, grocery stores, things of that nature. And as I mentioned before, we're going totally green. We're buying 20 compressed natural gas trucks to collect the recyclables from the curb.
And last thing, is there a Facebook page or a Twitter page that you want to give people out so they can go check it out?
So our website is cartlanta.org. Our Facebook page is Cartlanta, and you can go either to cartlanta.org, cartlanta.com. We all own all the domains, so you get a lot of good information about Cartlanta on these websites, and then you get the opportunity to offer suggestions to us that could make your service better.
Now, last question, do you recycle?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. My first job in public service was a recycling coordinator.
Okay.
So it's been in my blood for a real long time. And my children forced me to recycle as well.
Right. Well, thank you for coming on here today and talking about Cartlanta and giving us just a little bit more information.
So thank you for giving us the opportunity to get the word out. It's important that we educate and continue to educate through all media lines, whether it's TV, the newspaper, or using the World Wide Web. So we appreciate you having us.
Well, thank you. And thank you for tuning to Potpourri. I'm your host, Shatondra Caldwell.